The crimes behind the walls of power. The White House, a symbol of democracy, an icon of power, the place where presidents make decisions that shape the world. Tourists take photos. Flags ripple in the wind. Tour guides speak of peace treaties and state dinners. It looks pristine, untouchable, but behind its walls, beneath chandeliers and polished marble floors, lies a far more complicated reality. A world shaped by ambition, secrecy, loyalty, and at times deception. For more than 2 centuries, the White House has stood at the center of American power. And while many decisions made inside it are public, debated, and recorded in history books, others have unfolded in silence, shielded by classification stamps, executive privilege, and layers of bureaucracy. Some of those hidden decisions were not minor missteps. They were crimes. From Watergate to Iran-Contra, from secret detention programs to mass surveillance revelations, the corridors of power have witnessed actions that might have destroyed lesser institutions, yet endure behind protection of authority and political necessity. To understand how this happens, we have to start with the first crack in the wall. Act 1, Watergate. The first crack. A humid summer night in Washington, D.C., 1972. 5 men break into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate complex. At first, it appears to be a routine burglary, but it isn't. 2 reporters at the Washington Post, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, begin following the story. What they uncover is not just a break-in. It's a coordinated effort tied directly to President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign. Phones have been tapped, offices infiltrated, information stolen. But the burglary itself wasn't the most damaging crime. The cover-up was. As investigations intensified, it became clear that members of the administration had obstructed justice, pressuring witnesses, authorizing hush money, and attempting to block the FBI's inquiry. Inside the White House, conversations were recorded. Those tapes would later become central evidence. What made Watergate historic wasn't just the illegal activity. It was the willingness of a sitting president to use the machinery of government to shield himself from accountability. Yet even as the scandal unfolded, governance continued. Meetings were held. Policies were drafted. Public appearances were made. Power does not pause for scandal. By 1974, facing impeachment, Nixon resigned, the first U.S. president to do so. Watergate became more than a political scandal. It became a case study in how secrecy and hierarchy can normalize wrongdoing. When authority figures redefine legality in service of survival, systems bend to protect them. But Watergate was not the last time power operated in the shadows. Act 2, Iran-Contra, the Shadow Network. A decade later, another hidden operation emerged. In the 1980s, during the Reagan administration, officials orchestrated a covert plan, secretly sell weapons to Iran, despite an embargo, and redirect the proceeds to fund the Nicaraguan Contras, a rebel group Congress had explicitly prohibited from supporting. The operation bypassed lawmakers entirely. Funds were moved quietly. Communications were compartmentalized. Those involved were given only fragments of the larger plan. When the scheme was exposed, the public learned that high-ranking officials had misled Congress and concealed documentation. Some admitted to shredding evidence. Others claimed limited knowledge. The justification was national security. But Iran-Contra revealed something deeper. When secrecy becomes embedded in policy, accountability weakens. Complex operations make it difficult to trace responsibility. Layers of authority blur lines of culpability. Several officials were convicted, but many saw sentences reduced or were later pardoned. The message was subtle but powerful. Political complexity can be a shield. Act 3, Black Sites and Interrogations. After the attacks of September 11th, 2001, fear reshaped policy. In the name of counterterrorism, the U.S. government authorized enhanced interrogation techniques and established undisclosed detention facilities, often referred to as black sites. Detainees were held without traditional legal protections. Interrogation practices long considered violations of international law were reclassified under new legal interpretations. The programs operated in secrecy. Access was restricted. Oversight was limited. Years later, Investigative reports and Senate findings revealed details that sparked global controversy. Supporters argued the actions were necessary to prevent further attacks. Critics described them as torture. The debate exposed a recurring pattern in governance under crisis. When fear rises, ethical boundaries are often tested. Within hierarchical systems, orders are followed, justifications are crafted, actions are framed as temporary, exceptional measures for exceptional times. But history shows that once secrecy and emergency authority expand, they rarely contract without consequence. Act 4: Whistleblowers and Exposure. Not every secret remains buried. In 1971, Daniel Ellsberg leaked the Pentagon Papers, exposing government deception about the Vietnam War. Decades later, other whistleblowers revealed mass surveillance programs and classified operations that had never been disclosed to the public. These individuals often face prosecution, exile, or public backlash. Why? Because institutions are designed to preserve themselves. Social psychologists have long studied obedience to authority. In hierarchical systems, individuals tend to comply, especially when actions are framed as serving a greater good. Within powerful political institutions, loyalty is often rewarded. Dissent can be punished. This dynamic creates an environment where questionable decisions can move forward with minimal resistance. And when exposure does occur, attention often shifts from the wrongdoing to the whistleblower. The system defends itself. Act 5: Patterns across history. When you place Watergate, Iran-Contra, and Post 9/11 programs side by side, patterns emerge. Secrecy. Actions hidden from public oversight. Hierarchy. Authority structures that discourage dissent. Gradual escalation. Small ethical compromises leading to major violations. Public justification. Framing misconduct as necessary for security or stability. These elements are not unique to one administration or political party. They are structural vulnerabilities present wherever concentrated power exists. Historians have documented similar dynamics in governments around the world. The combination of authority, fear, and restricted information consistently produces environments where misconduct can flourish. The White House is no exception. Its symbolism represents democracy. Its structure concentrates power, and power, when shielded, can distort judgment. Act 6: The Modern Era. Today, transparency and secrecy coexist in new ways. Digital communication leaves permanent trails. At the same time, encrypted platforms, classified networks, and executive privileges create sophisticated tools for concealment. Modern scandals may not resemble Watergate's break-ins or Iran-Contra's paper trails. They may unfold through financial systems, cyber operations, intelligence partnerships, or classified directives. Some may never surface. Others may be revealed decades later, once documents are declassified and historians connect fragments of evidence. The unsettling truth is this: the mechanics that enabled past scandals still exist. Human psychology has not changed. Ambition remains powerful. Loyalty remains influential. Fear still motivates extreme decisions. And secrecy, when paired with authority, still creates opportunity. The White House stands as a symbol of democratic ideals. Yet history shows that even within institutions built on law and accountability, the potential for abuse is real. Watergate was a warning. Iran-Contra was another. Post 9/11 controversies were yet another reminder. For every scandal exposed, there may be others that remain buried, hidden behind classification stamps, sealed archives, and institutional silence. Power does not corrupt automatically, but power, combined with secrecy and human ambition, creates conditions where corruption can survive. Behind historic doors and gleaming halls, decisions are made every day that shape the world. Some are honorable, some are necessary, and some, perhaps, will not be fully understood for decades. Because the most consequential actions in history are often not the ones made in public view, but the ones hidden behind the walls. If you found this case fascinating, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We post crime case videos every day. If cases like this shake you to your core, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. More deep dive true crime investigations are on the way.